Looking at Ripple here, XRP. So I think, let's see, we'll put this moving average on. Oh wow, it's actually right at the moving average. So it's rejected it the last few days. Wonder what today will do. But you can see it's actually at an area of liquidity too. It's resisting. So we'll see if it can break this. But it has been. I mean, this is a super bullish engulfing candle. It has made some higher lows recently, so I mean this might actually break out a little bit, but there's another heavy zone up here. Oops. So gotta be mindful of that. I mean, it's gonna have to break some big zones here before it starts heading higher. You can actually drag this across and see that it's heavily respected this zone too. So we'll keep these in mind, but on these lower time frames, I mean, it's above the 4-hour quite a bit. So and it's touching the zone a lot, and it's still creating higher lows on these lower time frames too, like the 4-hour. So it might actually break this zone. But as far as trade setups go, I mean, this one's kind of tough because like it is somewhat recently kind of bullish, but it's still below the moving average, so it's bearish. You don't really know. So all we can do is kind of look at zone to zone and wait for it to give us some more confirmation. So basically it's rejecting this area for right now, but it's also rejected this area to the bottom side. So between 51, really like 51.40 and 52.65 ish, it's that's really where it's moving in between. So for me, I'd have to wait for a break and retest of this area, because this area is just too significant. Like it has to be broken, and price has to hold above it, or else I mean it's gonna sell off. It's sold off many times here. So I mean, if you drag this across, you can see just how many times this has been respected. So it's currently still being respected. So you have to really just favor the downside. I mean, this overall has been pretty bearish. Like since this sell-off back in mid-July, I mean, it's been kind of flat since mid-August. So maybe it's trying to settle out and then before it starts heading higher. But these zones are really significant. So ideally, it's got to break this area first. And then we're looking at this big area, and I mean, this area is just massive, like just so respected. So I mean, that's a big goal for it to break 54 cents up here and hold. So, but looking at this, just because these lows are sneaking up and you're getting higher lows, I mean, this might break this zone, but that's what I'd be waiting for. Or if price came back down here, I mean, because it is above the moving average, like it is still somewhat, and you had this huge bull momentum out of this area. So I do think that this does have, like there is some reason to want to buy this. If we look at this pullback here, it actually pulled back to the 38.2, which tells me that it is a strong trend. I don't know if that's going to hold because again, it's got to break this zone. So you're literally just bidding the bulls against the bears at this point. Like that's all it is. So you got bears in here selling it off. You got the bulls here buying it. 38.2 tells me it's a strong bull trend, but we don't know if that's enough. So it might have to come down further to this zone to grab more buyers, which you can see this actually adds up really well. This zone's been respected too. Price doesn't lie. So yeah, that's kind of what I'd be looking for. I mean, if it comes down again and respects this area, I'd be looking for a buy here. And then I mean, really, you can only buy it to this zone because it's got to break this zone too. So I do think that we do have some buys coming our way, but ideally you want to wait for the right area. You don't want to buy it here unless it breaks and holds. You want to buy it here or possibly here. Here's huge. I mean, if price came back down to this area, like you basically have this huge bull structure up and then a nice healthy pullback to 50%. I mean, that would be super ideal, and then you could probably get enough buyers in this area to really push price through this zone, and then ideally through this zone. But I mean, I think it might take some time, so delete this for now, just clean this up. As far as like ranges, I mean, this usually moves, this tells me 6.6 cents a week, but that's probably not accurate. So let's just look at the last few weeks. This was last week was 5.7, week before was 4.7, week before that was 4.6, so maybe 5 cents. So if this is, let's say price does come back down here, delete this for now, delete this for now. We're looking at 6 cents worth of range from here, which I mean that's I don't know if it'll do that, but it's got the range to do this week. I mean, we don't know if it's got the volume and the bullish momentum to do it, but it does have the range, right? So if this usually moves 4 or 5 cents a week, it's only 3, just shy of 4 basically from here to here. So I can definitely do that this week. Be looking for something like this. I wouldn't want to buy it yet, not until it breaks this zone, because it's respected it too many times. It's currently respecting it, so anticipating that it breaks this zone and getting in on a buy early, I mean, it's just not for me. But I would target something like this. If I think the risk reward would be really good too. Ideally, this is one of my favorite setups. So if price comes down here and this 4-hour moving average catches up, that'd be really ideal, because then you can sneak your stop right below that 4-hour moving average, and then it usually covers you and you're clear. Probably get a 3, anywhere from a 3.5 to 4 risk to reward on this trade. Again, it's well within the range. We know this usually moves between 4 and 5 cents a week, and this is only 2.5 from here to here, so totally reasonable. As long as price, I mean, like, it's got to come back down to this zone, but I don't know if it'll do that, because it has been making higher lows. So maybe it's got enough momentum to break this area. If it breaks and holds this area, then you're looking at something like this, which I think you could still get a decent risk to reward, but you'd probably have to target kind of probably the top of the zone, and then you're just kind of hoping that it makes it through this entire zone in one stretch. Without having to do any pullbacks to grab more liquidity, because like that's what I'd be concerned about. Like, I mean, price very well might break this area, but I don't think it'll just do it in one go. I think it's going to let's say come up here. Let's say it does. I'll delete this for now. Let's say it does come up from here and it breaks this zone. Let's say this is exactly what happens. We get a break, a retest, and then we're targeting this zone here. I don't think it's just going to break right through. I think it might come into here, sell off, probably have to do a retracement from here. So it'll be something like this, and then you'll have to get like a pullback, probably to like 50%, maybe the 38.2, but probably a little bit deeper. And then it'd be, you get your pullback to 50% here, 618 in between this zone. And then you get a lot more buyer liquidity, and then boom, then you can actually hammer that zone and break it, because I just think this is too significant. I think it'll run out by then. And I mean, even on this week, if you think about it, I mean, if this does follow the weekly range, and we know it's between 4 and 5 cents, this is already almost 4. So like it just doesn't have a ton of range really in the weekly movement, on average, to even bust through that this week. So it'd be more realistic if price came up, sold off, pulled back, bought through. So that's kind of what I'd be waiting for Ripple here. So kind of maybe delete this, clean this up, be waiting for price to either come down to here and reject it, or break and retest, and then hopefully you could get like a decent risk to reward, and then just target maybe bottom zone, mid zone, top zone, kind of wherever you really need. And if you can watch it closely and just see, like, if it hits the bottom of the zone and it's a strong bull candle, like like a strong 4-hour bull candle, then you're fine. But if the next candle starts selling off and you get a bearish engulfing mid zone here, then you just kind of take your profit and hopefully come out with at least 2 to 3 risk to reward. That'd be kind of my take, but I would wait for price to break this area. I'm going to set an alert. I want it to break and hold above 53 cents. That would be my criteria for this trade. So that's XRP, that's Ripple. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.